Patriot Prime Reviews is a channel for adult collectors and may not be suitable for children under 13 years of age. Viewer discretion is advised.
This video is sponsored by Toyhax.com. They're your one-stop shop for reproduction decals for your vintage G1 Transformers and upgrade decals for your modern bots. Weaponry for your figures from the Toyhax Armory, and great-looking backdrops for your display from Toy Stages. So check out Toyhax.com and make your collection stand out from the rest. And tell them Patriot Prime sent you. The featured bot in this video is the brand new Transformers Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus. I just got Ultra Magnus in today from Hasbo Pulse, and I have been anxiously awaiting this guy because he looks so cool with that skull face of his. But the first thing I noticed is, look at this. Look at the space, the wasted space rather, in this box. That looks ridiculous. I actually measured that at work today. There is 3 inches from the top of the robot's head to the top of the box. I mean, what the heck, Hasbro? I mean, you could fit a whole nother figure in there. Now, some of my friends on Facebook says, oh, it's the same packaging that Jetfire came in, but I don't think so. I've got Jetfire right here, and you can see the size difference right there. Plus, I looked at my video where I reviewed Jetfire, and the box looks completely different. So I don't know where this box came from, but man, that is some overkill. It's like Lay's packaged this figure. But enough about the space. Let's take a closer look at the box. Of course, you got Ultra Magnus right there in all that space. Transformers, Shattered Glass. Some great artwork of Ultra Magnus right there. Here on the side, more artwork of Ultra Magnus. I love that skull face. I can't wait to check this figure out closer. On the back of the box, you got Ultra Magnus in robot mode, vehicle mode, and you see his core bot. And this side of the box is a close-up of Ultra Magnus in robot mode. It's pretty much the same artwork. Now, this figure also came with a comic. It was not in the box. It was packaged separately. And look at the artwork on that. I love that. And this is one of the best sealed comics I've got so far from the Shattered Glass line. You got your comic, you got your backing board, and this is sealed tight. It's like it's vacuum sealed almost. So that looks awesome. I might not even open that up. That just looks so cool. So now, without further ado, let's open up Ultra Magnus out of this oversized package and check him out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and welcome to Patriot Prime Reviews. Now, once you get Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus all opened up and out of the packaging, you'll see he does come with a sheet of instructions that unfold into a frickin' poster. This is a huge sheet of instructions. He also comes with an extra head, a large red rifle that looks to be all red plastic. He has his 2 missile launchers, and these look really good. They're a nice glossy black and red. I'm not sure if that's paint or plastic. It may be paint. It is. You can see the blue right there. So these are painted a nice glossy black and red. He also comes with a little matrix of leadership done up in silver, and he's got a red jewel there for the center. And I did look, this is the exact same matrix that comes with Laser Prime or Scourge. Of course, Laser Prime is painted up a lot better. And he comes with the sword and axe that Laser Prime and Scourge came with as well. Now, Ultra Magnus, his came packaged attached to one another. Of course, you know, they can separate into a separate axe and sword. And then, of course, we've got Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus himself. And this guy looks awesome. The color scheme absolutely pops on this guy. Now, of course, Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus here is a repaint of Earthrise / Kingdom Ultra Magnus, just done more in the Diaclone look. So, taking a quick look at the figure right here, this is what sold me on the figure, this head sculpt, which looks amazing. I love the skull face. That just looks so badass. Now, from what Google told me in the Shattered Glass comic from a few years ago, Ultra Magnus tried to overthrow Optimus Prime. He failed, and instead of Optimus Prime killing Ultra Magnus, he ripped his face off. So we've got that going on. And man, that just looks so good. I wish it had just a little bit more paint detail to really make out the sculpted detail on the face. I mean, just depends on the way I turn him. See how you can really make out the chin and the teeth and the nose. When he looks straight at you, it kind of disappears, but from the side, man, it really pops. And I love the blue eyes. That just looks so good. But like I said, a little bit more paint applications would have helped, maybe right there in the center crest and maybe some details along the side, but it still looks awesome. Now, the back of the head, I saw this earlier, that is translucent plastic, so you'd think he'd have some light piping, but they painted over the eyes. Now, I like the blue. Maybe they could have gave him blue plastic so the light piping would work, but alas, well, nope. If you look, it's got neat, eerie red outline, so that's pretty cool. So he does have just a little bit of light piping. And while we're on the subject of heads, let me bring in his Ultra Magnus head, or rather his Diaclone Magnus head. Really nice sculpted detail on that. Great paint applications with the antenna and the face. And it looks like he's got translucent lenses right there, a visor. And yes, he's got translucent on the back of his head as well. Excuse me, getting tongue-tied. So to attach this, from what the instructions said, you just pop off the one head. Be careful with the little bat wings there. And pop this one right back on. That, man, that was a little harder to get on. So there you have Ultra Magnus with his Diaclone head. So you kind of get two toys in one. You could have Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, or you could have Diaclone Ultra Magnus, which should display well with all those new Diaclone repaints we've been getting lately. So let's check out the light piping on this. And yeah, that looks good. I like that. I dig it. I love good light piping on a figure. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop back on the Shattered Glass head because that's how I'm going to display my figure, and we'll carry on with the review. So now that I have Magnus's head reattached, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the figure. Looks like the same glossy paint up here on the shoulder pylons. Purple Autobot logo right there. Got the blue chest, silver details there. Black for the belt. Gray legs, black shins. Red there on the front of the shins. And that's it. I mean, these collars absolutely pop. I love the looks of this guy. It works so well. Of course, all his articulation is the same as the Earthrise figure. Now let's go ahead and get him all armed up. We'll take the rocket launchers and attach these to his shoulder here. Good God, they do not want to go in. That is a really tight fit. I think the paint may be just a little too thick on these launchers. You can kind of see the paint sticking off the edge right there. So yeah, that's scary tight. I'm afraid to push. Well, look here. It's already happening. You can see a little bit of stress marks showing up already on this figure. So be careful with that. I'm just going to put that in there very lightly. I guess I'm going to have to break out a hairdryer for that. That sucks. And of course, we've got his rifle. That fit into his hand, no problem whatsoever. And then we have the lance. Go ahead and put that in his fist. And now we have Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus all armed up and ready for battle. And we'll go ahead and bring in Earthrise Ultra Magnus so you can take a look at the two together. They look awesome together. I could not be happier with this guy, aside from those damn thick missile pegs. So now let's take a look at Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus's core robot mode. And here we have Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus in his core robot mode, which looks really good. He loses all of his red, but the blue, gray, and black look awesome. Love the paint job on the head with the silver mouth plate, the silver crest, and those yellow eyes. He actually looks evil. Now, of course, this look also looks just like his Diaclone version. Great sculpted details. I wish he had some paint applications there on the belt section, just like bring in Earthrise Ultra Magnus, because he kind of loses it down there on the belt. I do like the red translucent windows, which brings me to his evil matrix that really doesn't have a place to store at all in this figure unless you open up the chest, bring down the belt here. This is the only place I found that you could store it. Just kind of drop it in that big cavity, and I guess you could do that if you want, but it turns him into a maraca, so I don't know if you want to do that or not. Now, the other option for the matrix I'll show you here in a second when I go over the weaponry again, but it was kind of funny that they included the matrix but there's nowhere to put it whatsoever. But man, this guy just looks awesome. I love the color scheme on this guy. As I always called him, Dad Bottomus Prime. He just looks beefy and badass and ready for battle. Let's bring in Earthrise Ultra Magnus once again so you can take a good look at the two together, and I think this one just looks a lot better. I know the white and blue is all G1, but the color scheme on him just pops. Maybe it's because of the gray stripe right there underneath the windows. I love this. Now, there are some issues with the weaponry once again. He can hold the rifle, no problem whatsoever. And he can hold the lance, no problem whatsoever. But when you break these apart, he can hold the axe, but the sword has this stupid little notch here on the end, and no matter how you do it or how you turn it, he cannot hold this sword. The notch is on there for Laser Prime and Scourge because their hands would open up, and I think I'm just going to snip that right off, because if he could hold that all the way down, I think that would look awesome. So a little bit disappointing right there that you can't use the sword, but let me combine these together and show you. You can attach the matrix to the lance. You got the hole right there. There's a peg right there that you can fit that over, so you can do that if you want. So you've got this evil matrix powered weapon. So yeah, you got that going on. And that's pretty much it for Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus's core bot mode. Now let's take a look at him in vehicle mode. I'll be honest with you guys, I have never liked the Earthrise Ultra Magnus vehicle mode. To me, that looks like a cracker box with wheels. It's got no articulation, it rolls, and that's it. It can barely hold any other vehicles. I mean, you can put a vehicle there on top, but pretty much pointless for inside the carrier. Front of the vehicle looks pretty good. There's really no paint applications whatsoever on the side, bringing in the Kingdom Ultra Magnus or Earthrise Ultra Magnus to take a quick comparison. See how he has the painted in windows where the Shattered Glass does not. So roll you back out of the way. Now, I do want to give a huge shout out to whoever it was that told me I could use the Super Robot forearm pieces to clip over the hands of Ultra Magnus in his vehicle mode to hide the exposed fists. That looks so much better. If you follow the instructions, the fists or the forearm pieces are supposed to peg in up here, but if you clip them onto the fists, they look so much better. You don't have the exposed fist that you originally had with the figure if you follow the instructions. So there they are side by side once again, so you can take a quick look at them. The missiles, once again, do not fit securely all the way inside of the hole. I didn't want to force them like I did with the robot mode, so that's disappointing. Other weapon storage, you have the giant rifle you could peg here on top. It doesn't fit in very good. There's a hole there. There's a hole back here. These they don't fit. So you got that. For the lance, you could actually, you're supposed to put it back there. That looks stupid. I guess you could drop it down like so. But man, I am not going to have my Ultra Magnus with those weapons attached. Just the missile launchers is good enough for me. But to be honest, I will probably never transform him into vehicle mode again. Not to mention, he really lacks the paint applications. I said it before with the windows, but looking now at the wheels, I mean, they're just solid black, where the Kingdom version, or Earthrise version, had the silver centers. So, yeah, not a big fan of vehicle mode. Transformers Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus is a great repaint of Earthrise / Kingdom Ultra Magnus. I love the skull head. That is what sold me on this figure. I think that just looks so badass. Not to mention the color scheme just pops. It looks so much better in person than what it did in pictures. It's blood red, bright blue, glossy black, and just pops. I do hate the fact that they overdid the paint on the missile launchers. I am going to have to sand those down because I do not want to damage my figure any further. The Corebot mode looks pretty good too. I love the blue color scheme. Not a big fan of the vehicle mode. It's just a big box with wheels, and it's kind of lame in my opinion. So there you go, guys. Transformers Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus. So, does a Transformers Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus belong in your collection? Well, if you've been collecting the Shattered Glass line or are a fan of the Diaclone repaints, absolutely, this is a great looking figure. I think this guy is going to look so cool on my shelf. As I said in the review, I'm going to display mine as Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus. I love the Shattered Glass Autobots. I think they look so much better than the Decepticons. But it's still cool that you get the optional head to display with your Diaclone shelf if you have one of those. Couple nitpicks with the figure. I wish they laid off the black paint on the missile launchers. I'm really afraid I'm going to do some damage to the figure, give you some stress marks. I may have to sand the pegs down just a little bit. Not a huge fan of the reuse of the lance weapon. Don't really understand the matrix, but is what it is. And I am not a fan at all of his alt mode. I wasn't a fan of the alt mode with the Earthrise Siege, or not Siege, Earthrise Kingdom Ultra Magnus as well. But still, I love the robot mode. I love the collars. This guy, he just looks awesome, and I can't wait to get him up there with my other Shattered Glass figures. So, what do you think of Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Also, if you're in any position to help out the channel, I have a super thanks button, and I also offer channel memberships. And I have to give a huge shout out to all my current channel members because it's support like yours that helps keep this channel going. Once again, guys, this is Patriot Prime, signing out.